Hi, welcome back to Create and Craft with Katie. As promised in my last video, my craft room tour, today I'm going to show you how I made this organisational item for my craft desk. Now, remember that I made this without filming it, so to make it I've got to undo it, so it's a bit scary. So this is what it looks like right now. We'll see what it looks like in the next shot. So this is what it looks like when everything has been taken off. So the next thing we're going to do is take this off its base. So this we made individually. So this here is what it sits on. It's just one of those, you put the really large plants on that are heavy to push around when you want to water them. So this actually came from Walmart. It was $10. It's not on their website at the moment, but you can see it's a Better Homes and Gardens. But you can get them anywhere, but it just needs to be obviously smaller than the base of the organizer, which is about 14 inches. So this is 12 inches. This is the right size. So now I'm going to disassemble this so that we can reassemble it and show you how we do it. And I'm literally going to just unscrew these and then we'll see the pieces ready to reassemble. Okay, so now we are disassembled. Now, these are 4 of the 14 by 22 Skadis panels, and what I've done is I've zip tied them together. Now I've only undone one side to show you because you don't really need to see me fastening all of them together, but I will show you on this final side that you're going to put the corners together, and using this one, which is like the first one on the second row coming down, you know, put your zip tie through from the inside, because you want your tails to be on the inside. There's no need to cut them off then because they're not visible. And so you put your zip tie in and pull it tight, and then you're going to do the same on the bottom one. So now you're left with a cube, and it's wobbly, not very stable, so obviously you've got to do something to stabilize this. So stabilize it, you want to give it a top and a bottom, and this is not difficult. So I haven't undone this to show you, but these rails here are what come with the pegboard. This piece here, you see these 2 screws here and here, they would be where you would screw it into the wall, and then you attach the pegboard with these through here, causing a gap so that your pegboard is standing proud off the wall, so that you can actually hook the things through. If it's flat against, you can't get the items through. So what I did was I used these rails that came with it, so there's 4 of them. I cut a piece of, this is a piece of MDF, it's a piece of old shelving that we had. As long as it is wide enough to put the rail in, you'll be fine. This is quite heavy, quite sturdy. And so I cut this, and this measures, one side is 12¼ inches, one is 12¾ The reason that they vary is because when you attach these, there is give in the space, and also where you attach your corners together, there is some give. Sometimes one board will be on top of it this way, sometimes it'll be on that way, so it won't be even. You may have to trim when you've seen what you're doing, but the good thing with these is that it is adjustable, and so it will allow you a little leeway. As I say, this one is 12.25 one side, 12.5 on the other. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your piece and you're going to attach it on the inside using these. Now, it's awkward. It's not difficult, but it's awkward. So I'm going to lay this one down this way round, and then I'm going to see, it's awkward. Sometimes I'd need an extra pair of hands. So let me just stand it back up. You're not going to break it because, well, you're not. So get your piece and insert it inside of your cube, like so. And let's see if you can see from, I don't know if you can see, but you can, the hole that relates to the inside on here is just here. And so you're going to get your little, I don't know whether it's a screw or a bolt, it's got a flat end to it. And so you're going to put it through here. This is how you would attach it if you were attaching it to a wall, but instead you're attaching it to this inner top piece. And all you're going to do is screw it in, and you'll see what I mean, that it can go up or down, so it gives you an opportunity to readjust when you've got a few of them in. And so you just turn it, you can leave it loose and then tighten them all up at the end, but considering I've already done this one before, it's pretty okay. So as you can see then, if you look down here, you'll be able to see the next hole. And so I say you can just adjust it slightly to let it in. See, they'll tighten with the fingers, and just screw it into the bottom. And so you'll go round and do all 4 sides. Okay, so this is what it will look like when you have attached your inside piece to it. I forgot to say that when you are attaching the rails to this piece, line them up so that there's the same amount of gap on each side. Now, your tower now is strong, it's not going to move. So if you didn't want to put wheels on it, you could actually leave it at this point in time. The other thing is, if you're not too bothered whether or not you can see the wheels, you could actually skip a whole step, which is the last step, and you could actually, this piece will fit on top, and you could call it good right now. However, I wanted my wheels to be a little bit more concealed, and so I wanted the wheels to sit slightly more inside. So for that, this top, which is going to be the top, we're going to be creating a bottom. Now, the bottom is the same concept as doing the top. You're going to attach these to a piece. However, you don't have any rails because they only come with 1 per pegboard. So your piece that goes inside is going to be slightly bigger. So you do have, they do come with more of these. Each one comes with 4 so that you can attach them. Because when you attach them to the wall, the bottom ones have a little stopper on the end to stop it banging, to stop it, level it up on the wall. So I just cut another piece. Now this piece is just under 14 inches square. It's like 13 7/8. When you've got to this point, you can measure your diameter, your inside here, your inner dimensions, and cut your piece to fit. And it's going to slot inside the same as the other one did, and then you're going to attach it with these, and then I'm going to show you a little thing to fix if something doesn't quite go right. So I have my base slotted in. Now obviously you're not going to have a pre-drilled hole, so either use a drill bit if you've got a much firmer piece of wood to create a pilot hole. These are just pressed particle board, and so it was pretty easy to get these to go through and to attach in the same way as the other ones. You have to sort of squeeze the corner down to get it to get a bite, and then it will go in the same way as the other piece. Okay, so on my reassemble, I remembered that I used my electric screwdriver. This is the fixer from IKEA. It's a rechargeable, because these are more difficult to go in. Remember, this is a hack. This is not perfection. This is a hack. Anyway, what I was going to show you was, if for some reason you feel like it's not quite tight enough, you can always use a screw in any of the extra places on the bottom, like this one for instance, that if you wanted to reinforce it because perhaps you think that these pieces aren't tight enough to hold the pieces together, you can always add a screw to the bottom. You can see just here. It won't affect the use of it because you can't use the bottom row anyway because you've got the base on it. Anyway, once you've actually got to this point, really, it's as simple as getting your base and putting it on, and really, that's it. It sits, you'll feel it when it sits on correctly. You heard it just snap into place in there. Now, really, the zip ties on the corners, now that you've got the top and the bottom in, I think you'd be able to remove them. However, I left them on because they're not noticeable. And I think that it just gives it that bit more stability. Now, obviously, these are only just regular wheels, so I wouldn't suggest that you spin it wildly round on your desk, but if you're wanting to move it from one side to the other, or you're sitting here and you've got scissors and glue here and you think, oh, okay, I need my tape runner, and it's round the other side, you can easily turn it round and put it back. Now, I think we're just going to have maybe 5 minutes and put a few of the items back on so that you can see some of the accessories that you can get with this Skadis pegboard. So with the pegboard, you can only use the accessories that come from IKEA that are designed to go on it, which means that if you have a regular round hole pegboard, they won't work. So I don't think there's a hack. I've looked plenty of times. It's the way that the actual hooks are designed. These are oval or oblong, and these are designed so that it hooks in the top and then sits in the next one. So I'm not going to completely fill it back up again because that would be a long time, but I'll show you some of the items that you can get. So we have the shelf. They hook in one and sit in another. These ones I know are $2 a piece. I don't know the prices of everything. I can't remember. You have these metal cups. These are the ones that I used on my Copic wall to hold my markers. These take up, I think, 3. So you hook it in the top, so you hold it in this way, and then it sits down and sits in there. These are some of my favourites. These are what I have my letters in on my letter wall. Now these have a little metal, as you could hear when I dropped it. This is how the lid slides on. So with these, they hook in the top and sit in the bottom. So you sort of hook and then press down so that it sits in, and then this slides inside here. Another one that I like. They're different size hooks. These long hooks. Now, you may think, well, you know, what would you use one of those for? But items like my crocodile, which has seen better days. It's actually rusty. I've had it that long. It won't fit in the tool holders, but it will fit on 2 hooks. I also use the long hooks for little pairs of scissors. One of the other hooks is the tool hook. So this one is round, and this one is stuck in my pair of Martha Stewart scissors. Let me just get another one. This is all part of live filming, and I'm not very good at editing. So these come like this, and a pair of scissors will sit in them just perfectly. And so again, you hook it in, and then your scissors will go in there perfectly. Another item that they have are these clips. This just hooks on one, so you can hook the clip in and then you just undo it to attach something. I usually put my little phone remote on it so that I know where it is. And finally, this piece here, this piece which I added the sign to, this is from IKEA's kitchen department. It's meant to go on the rails on the wall, like where I have my wreaths, but it has a, let's see, it has a lip on the end of it, and because we have a little gap in the top here, this will actually sit in there. So any of them that have a little cup, there's all sorts in that kitchen department that would also work in here. And another thing that they have are these pulleys. Now these you hook in and then you can stretch it and hook it here. So if you have a picture that perhaps you're using as inspiration and you want to stick it there so that while you're working on something, there's your inspiration, you can use these. Anyway, this was my hack, and I hope that you enjoyed it. The boards themselves cost just under $10 each, and the wheels, the plant stand is also $10. So for $50 and change, you can make your basic piece. We actually had the old shelving that we used for the top and the bottom. Obviously, you buy the pieces as and when you need them and to fit to your needs. But for me, I needed something where I could get a lot of stuff in a small space and still be able to get hold of it. In fact, if you could see back over there, it's full of all my things that came off it. I was surprised at how much I got on there. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this second organisational video. If you have any IKEA friends, please share it with them. And if you make it and you'd like to tag me, post it on Instagram and tag me at Create and Craft with Katie, and I would love to see what you've done. Thanks very much. If you haven't subscribed, please do so, and have a great day.